Are you turning 65 and just a bit overwhelmed with all of these options out there? And you're trying to figure out, well, which way should I go? You talk to your friends and they say one thing. God forbid if you talk to a bunch of agents, each one of them is going to have a different story. But so what should you really do? What do you need to know? Well, that's one of the things we're going to talk about. This is Bob Vineyard, your Medicare expert with the Georgia Medicare Minute. All right, one of the first questions that comes up when people talk to me is, well, which carriers do you represent? And I'll list them. I said, well, I've got a few that I like. I said, I'm probably appointed with 8 or 10 of them, and there's a few that I like. Well, which ones do you like? And so I'll tell them, well, these are the ones that I use most often. Oh, well, what about carrier ABC? A lot of my friends have it, and gosh, there's a whole lot of advertising about that. What's wrong with that? Well, it's just I don't want to use them because of some past experiences that I've had, as well as with clients that have had them. Oh, okay. Well, gosh, well, who do you use now? And so we go back and forth, and like I had this come up just a few weeks ago. A lady said, well, I want this plan that's for retired folks, and I said, well, she said, I've talked to a bunch of agents, and some of them say, well, we don't use that carrier. What about you? And I said, well, I don't use them either. Oh, okay. Well, tell me what you do need and what you do use. And so we talked about them, and I went through and answered all of her questions and all this kind of stuff. And she said, okay, well, let me talk this over with my husband. I'll get back to you. And so about a week later, she calls me back. She says, okay, I've made up my mind. I'm ready to go with you. Gosh, you really have been helpful. And I want this carrier for retired people. And I said, we had this conversation, and I won't use them. Oh, well, what do I need to do? Well, you either need to go direct with them or find an agent that does use them. Well, okay, that's what I'll do. One of the things that always kind of bothers me a little bit is nobody ever bothers to ask, well, why don't you want to use them? What do you see? And I say, well, I see a lot of things because I've been doing this for a long time. I talk to a lot of people, and there's a lot of things that I just don't like about the way they do business. And if you still want to use them, don't be surprised if I invite you to look for another agent or go direct to the carrier, because I don't want to get involved in your problems that you're going to have down the road. This is Bob Vineyard, your Medicare expert with the Georgia Medicare Minute. You take care. Have a great day.